Hello SLAPAFISH community, welcome back to another World Tanks Concept. So in this video, I'm going to be doing a tank review on the brand new Polish medium tank that just came into the game for the Season Pass. So, I mean the Ultimate Season Pass. The only way, there's two ways you can get this tank. Through the Ultimate Season Pass, which if you buy the Ultimate Season Pass, you'll get the tank, which is 6,700 gold. The Season Pass, and the 3D scan for free. So basically, you purchase a Ultimate Season Pass that is 11,600 gold. You get a Season Pass, 3D scan, the CS-52 list, and you skip 25 stages. So yeah, this is how you get this tank. Or you can buy the CS-52 list bundled with the T-77. I wouldn't recommend that because you're getting the T-77 at stage 100 if you have a Season Pass. But anyway, enough to talk with that. So the CS-50, I'm going to be comparing the CS-52 list to the T-4100 and to the Motherland, or the T-54 first prototype. So all these tanks are tier 8s. They're all medium tanks. 2 are Soviet, 1's a Polish. Basically, the Polish actually has the highest caliber gun in this comparison. Its gun is really comparable to the Motherland, honestly. The potential damage is not that high. I find myself running out of like shells every time I play this tank, or really close running out of shells. This should have been buffed because it really needed more potential damage. 7 degrees of gun depression is fantastic. The alpha is the highest in this comparison at 320, which is really good. Penetration is the highest in this comparison. Standard penetration is okay. Premium penetration you can work with. And high explosive penetration. The DPM is actually very comparable to the Motherland, even though it has a worse rate of fire and worse reload time. Its alpha makes up for it, so it has a 1,882 DPM, which ain't that bad. It's better than the Motherland, but worse than the T-44-100. Now, the mobility is closely resembled to the T-44-100. It has the best horsepower per ton, which is a 19.69, which is pretty good. Forward speed is 50. That's a really good reverse speed. At 20, track rotation is the worst in this comparison. Turret speed is the middle of the pack. Terrain resistance is okay. They're okay to work with. They're kind of like heavy tank status. Hit points is 1,300, which is okay. I mean, the Tiger at tier 7 has 1,500 hit points, but you are a medium tank. I mean, some medium tanks at this tier has like 1,400 hit points. I mean, its hit points are okay. The weight is 36.6 tons, which is the best in this comparison, but I do not recommend ramming anything because you'll take huge amounts of damage. Now, the frontal armor is the worst in this comparison at 80, but it can still surprise you in ricochetation shots. You can side scrape because you have 75 millimeters of armor, so no tank in the game can overmatch your side armor, so that's really good at side scraping. Just don't like over angle, just like have it barely side scraping. It's barely at an angle. Oh well, at an angle. Turret armor is pretty decent at 190 millimeters, 110 at the sides, and 45 at the back. Don't get shot in the back because that's always going through. The turret armor don't rely on the turret armor, but it will work when it needs to, which is very nice. View range could be better, but you can always boost that. Signal range is terrible at 525. That's like low tier signal range. Still concealment is 0.28, which is okay. XP rate is 10, and silver rate is 50. And now we just go jump into some tank battles. Alright, so we spawned on stats with the CS-52 list. And if you're wondering what my crew skills and equipment are, you'll see them in the description below and probably in the comments. Okay? Because I forgot to write those down. Oops. So, now the CS-52 list. Why did I compare it to the T-54 first prototype, aka the Motherland, and the T-44-100? Well, first of all, there's no Polish medium tier 8 to compare it to. So, it's kind of tricky. And every time I play this tank, it reminds me of a T-44. It does. Because it's kind of shaped like a T-44. It has a gun like a T-44. Averages around the T-44 mark. And the mobility is really like the T-44. So if you like the T-44 or a T-54, then you will really enjoy this tank. The armor can surprise you at sometimes, but I would not don't rely on your armor. And you'll see what I mean in this replay. And there's a dragon that may shoot us. Nope, he's not going to shoot us. Yeah. Hello, Mr. Dragon. And I missed. So, basically, how to play this tank. Try to use your 7 degrees of gun depression as best as you possibly can. And try to stay at a medium distance, like I'm staying right here. Don't stay at the front lines, but stay behind your like heavy tanks. And also, like when you're fighting tier 6, you're pretty much like 2-shotting or 3-shotting them, because you have 320 alpha, which is really, it feels really nice on this tank. And we're just going to shut down that dragon, and our armor failed us right there. So yeah, and I'm pretty sure you'll see what I mean about the shell count. The potential damage is very low on this tank, so you really have to like pick what shells you want. You can't really load too much high explosive or you really gotta think about what kind of shells you want to load. So my perfect like thing is like 3 high explosive, and I think that's 10 premium rounds. Yeah, it's 10 premium rounds, and the rest are standard. That's the way I loaded it out. And yeah, basically my crew, how I did my crew and stuff, like how I want to play this thing. I boosted out the reload as best as possibly, as best as I could. I boosted up the view range, and I boosted up the concealment, so I can stay like a sniper-ish. And I can outspot when I'm fighting, which is really, really nice to do. And you can see the poor signal range. There's a T-29 right outside my signal range, and I can't see him. In other tanks, you can, because your signal range is very, very bad. And I didn't actually think you could go around this spot. I was like, oh, huh. I found a new spot. And I almost flipped myself. So right now we are losing, but not for long. There's artillery. I'm going to shut them down. Well, we put one in them, and artillery just shot at us. It's probably the Lorraine. And there's a Jackson right there. Hello, Mr. Jackson. And we're going to shut them down. As you see, the alpha is really nice on this thing, especially when it's reload. You don't have the alpha of 400, but it's 320, so it feels just really nice. The accuracy and aim time, I've got that down pretty good. And the reload time, combined with the 320 alpha, just makes this tank feel really, really nice. And we have pulled this game back because we are no longer like behind. We're now in head. And there's another Jackson, which we shut down another Jackson. And what is this? There's a light tank. Right here, I'm going to try to like hit, but it's actually going to bounce off his cupola, which is very weird. And here's an LTG, which I'm going to try to line up the shot, and boom, dead. And nice explosion. Very nice explosion. There's a Freedom. I'm waiting for my actual rations to get back so I can actually improve my DPM. So, yeah. In this battle, we really conserved our hit points. We've been up in the front lines most of the time. We shot the targets as much as we could, and we gave our support where we needed it. And that gave us like 1,100 spotting, well, 1,200 spotting so far, and 3,000 damage. And we also picked up a couple of kills, and we're still doing damage. And as you can see, the armor is actually working right there against the Freedom. And yeah, right now I'm trying to find a perfect shot. I was thinking about like shooting right between his space armor where his turret is, but I couldn't actually get the shot. And now it's just the other Super Pershing. Now against the Super Pershing, you're going to see about the armor. When you're not using your 7 degrees of gun depression, you're going to see what happens to your armor. I'm just fighting a Super Pershing. He doesn't have the best penetration in the world, but he's really gonna hand it to us. We're not really gonna bounce any shots from this Super Pershing. And well, most of these shots were gonna be side on to him, but that first shot we were like face on. And this shot, see, I didn't want to ram him because I was going to lose a lot of hit points. You do not want to ram in this tank. Even though you weigh 37 tons, do not ram in this tank. Especially against Super Pershings, because that's not a very good idea. And so that's a victory on steps. Easy victory. Did 4,300 damage, 6 kills. And we made, how much silver? 119,000 silver and 1,200 assists. Top gun, top leaderboards, and that's it for this video. Remember to like, comment, subscribe. I was SLAPAFISH because Walrus, and peace out. See ya.